Your recommendations for horror holiday movies. Give me your top 5 first of all, then we'll do honorable mentions.
Yeah, my top 5 is a little basic, and I mean, it's hard to get away
Nothing
from the
wrong being
classics for me. Just to let everyone know, I have a list of 125 Christmas horror movies.
Which is why I said
I've
5.
ranked. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 125. Yeah, we're talking like bottom of the barrel, stuff like that.
Wow.
So just know that there might be like 35 good ones in that whole list. So the good stuff is hard to pick from. But my top 5 is pretty basic. I mean, number 1, you have Gremlins. For me, that's just 5 out of 5 movie. It's like adorable and funny and Amblin. Exactly. I'm going to let you keep going on that.
By the way, if you come to the You're Gonna Need a Bigger Boat quiz, which is going to be in Los Angeles on the 21st of December, it's the review of 2019, I am going to have a soundtrack of festive songs as well as soundtrack things from 2019. So that will be on there, but carry on, Gremlins.
Gremlins number 1. Number 2 is the OG Black Christmas. I mean, that's just the slasher. It's funny because everyone says it's the first slasher, but what's hilarious is that none of the other slashers after that really followed that formula.
Yeah.
So I like it for that. It's so tense and it's so just dreadful without being, you know, what slashers became or what the remake became. Not this remake, but the 2006 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that was like, hey, we're going to give Billy jaundice and all of us, let's just care about kills. Like, no, get out of here. Number 3 is Inside, which is just brutal. Bustillo and Mary, it is basically, you've never seen Inside?
I've never heard of this movie.
So basically, the long and short of it is a pregnant woman is in her home around Christmas, and someone comes in and tries to steal her baby, another deranged woman. And that's the whole film, is these two women in the house, one fighting for her life, the other one trying to steal her baby. Out of her. Like, out of her. Out of her.
Wow.
It is viciously gory. It is disgusting. And
So where can we see this?
Inside, you're going to have to find, like, you're going to rent it on VOD.
Okay.
But you can find it on, I think it might be on, like, Tubi and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just look Inside. Again, it came out, I want to say, like, 2007.
Oh, so it is like a recent movie. It's not like a 1970s movie.
No, not at all. It's recent. Again, Bustillo and Mary have done a few things since then. They did the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw movie, which wasn't great, but this was the first film they did, and it's such a just stark debut. It's just crazy.
Wow.
So go for Inside, number 3. Number 4, Nightmare Before Christmas. Don't really have to explain that any more than I have to do. And number 5, I'm really into Krampus. I know it didn't get the biggest critical reception, but I think for what Michael Dougherty did for Halloween with Trick or Treat, he does again for Christmas with Krampus.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It does the greed, the consumerism, and it really is a satire of everything the holidays have become in the eyes of the general public, while still being a pretty creature-forward film that has some grit. The Jack in the Box, the ninja bread people, I'll call them. So that's my top 5, just straight out.
Okay, well, they actually did a maze at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes, they did.
About 2 years ago, which was Krampus, and they had the Ninja Bread Man, and they had the big sort of snowman and stuff like that.
Yep.
A number of things that you mentioned there from that movie. It's seriously that is the first movie when I relocated here from the UK that I went to see in movie theaters. I was on my own. Like, nobody else was in the movie theater, and I was genuinely at the end of it pissed because nobody else was there watching that movie. It's a great movie. 3 honorable mentions for you.
My honorable mentions, I'm going to try to get a little more out there with my recommendations.
Okay.
So we're going to have a little fun with it. Number 1, I mean, Anne of the Apocalypse, I know a lot of people are talking about.
Love it.
Exactly. But not enough people are still talking about it.
It's on Hulu right now.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
just hit Hulu and Amazon Prime this December, so
Right.
it's the perfect time for it to actually get its resurgence and get what it deserves. So, Anne of the Apocalypse and a Scottish zombie horror comedy musical.
Fuck, another one.
Yeah, exactly. But
God, I'm sick of these movies.
it is such a beautiful coming-of-age story, though, and it
Yeah.
plays with the tropes so well of a female survivor girl and all these things. Plus, the songs are just so catchy. They're so pop-friendly, and I've watched it like 3 times since it hit Hulu, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And you have the soundtrack.
Of course I do.
You've annoyed your neighbors with this.
I do
Yes.
too.
Yeah, the vinyl of it. I have all everything you
good.
can have. Also, I have the poster with my quote on it because that's
Really?
because I have an ego, and every poster I get quoted on, I put in my apartment. So that is me.
amazing.
Number 2, just hit Shudder, called Deadly Games. Came out in the 80s.
Okay.
It is Home Alone meets Rambo, except it's a small child versus a psycho Santa that breaks into his house. And what it is basically a game of hide and seek. The Santa has some problems, and he's a little underdeveloped, let's say. And so he just wants to play hide and seek with this kid. But it gets violent. It gets dangerous. Also, the kid is a toy mogul's son, so he has all these like contraptions, and he's also a genius, and he can build traps and things like that. So again, came out in the 80s. I'm comparing it to Home Alone, but the fun part is it came out before Home Alone. It just never got released stateside. So Shudder found it after it played Fantastic Fest in 2017. There was a rep screening there, and that's where I saw it for the first time.
So where's it from?
It's from France. It's a French film.
Okay.
Yep. So French, 1989, does nothing, goes nowhere, outdated technology, and it's 2019, and it's finally getting its stateside debut, and it's on Shudder. So you'll have to have a Shudder subscription for it. But if you're a horror fan, you already have it because you need to have a Shudder subscription.
Yeah, it costs no money.
Like $5 a month, basically. Yeah. So that's my number 2 honorable. And number 3, I'm looking at my list and like, what do I want to recommend? But I'm going to go with a movie called The Day of the Beast, Alex de la Iglesia.
Right.
And it's this Christmas... I want to call it a black comedy, and it involves Satanism, and it involves religious aspects, and it's basically like a metalhead, a priest, and a down on his luck. I don't even know what to call it, just like Christmas kind of scoundrel, all have to team up and stop the apocalypse, and it's all based around Christmas and things of this nature. Yes, find The Day of the Beast.
Those are superb recommendations.
Yes, they are. Very good.
Seriously, there are so many movies that I've never heard about.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And if you want some quick streaming recommendations, I won't take very long on this.
No, sure,
but
go for it.
On Shudder, you have A Christmas Horror Story, which is an anthology for Christmas horror that I actually like quite much. Shudder also has Better Watch Out, a nice little... Did you see that?
It came out last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago about that. Yeah. So Shudder also picked that up. Know nothing going into it, just know it's a babysitter in peril kind of thing. And it has fun with it. The Children, I believe, is on Amazon Prime, and it's the nastiest child-based horror film I've ever seen, where the children turn infected on Christmas and lash out against the adults, and it gets quite nasty.
Oh my god!
And the last one I'll say is I'm gonna give I Trapped the Devil, which came out this year, a bump. It's on Hulu and I believe Amazon Prime, definitely on Hulu though, and it's a really twisted little Twilight Zone thing where a guy thinks he traps the devil in his basement, and his relatives come over, and it's a quite contentious situation, let's say.
Okay, cool. That's seriously, those are really good. Actually
walk away.
Gonna show those on Christmas Day and
just do a nice little marathon.
So,
yeah. Start with start light. Start with Inside, obviously.
Start light, obviously.
Inside.
Yeah, and then rank up from there.
Hey Popcorn Talk fans, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the link in the description below to see the whole episode. Also, we'd appreciate it if you'd like this video and comment your thoughts. No matter what you're a fan of, we have a show for you. See you at the movies.